is wrong with you? Me? What is wrong with you? Me? What is wrong with you? Me? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of
What is wrong with you? We have a special guest today. We have my brother, LaDale Buggs. Get a hand clap.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Uh-oh.
Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you. Thanks for the invitation.
I've seen your podcast and it makes me feel good to know that you be watching ours. So I just kind of wanted to see, since you do what you do, I just kind of wanted to have you on to kind of give people some information on what you do and how.
What's the market like?
So that's no more question I get a lot of times is, what's going on with the market? I'm like, God.
You didn't take notes.
What's the market like?
Boy.
Welcome.
For sure. Well, I guess y'all want me to jump in and tell them who I am, what I do, things of that nature, all that stuff?
Yep.
Yes, all that.
Okay. Again, LaDale Buggs, I look better than everybody on the screen. It's all good. Take the picture. Number two.
Better me though.
Hey, it's not good to lie. Okay,
Man,
before the Lord.
But you just did.
Tell the truth.
So that's not just did.
I don't know. Anyways, you know who the lie. Look at my tie. Look at it.
But I know, and when everybody else knows. Look, go ahead. All right.
It's all good, but y'all, that's my cousin Jarvis. We are the same age. I'm in real estate development and finance, so that means I own a lot of real estate, and I do a lot of private equity investing. And so in a lot of companies that you may see on TV or in grocery stores, I do a lot of funding of those companies, which is fine. Married, been married for 16 years, 2 little girls. Well, not little no more, 15 and 11, Lord.
No,
but
11 and 5. Go ahead.
15 and 11. One's finna drive. I had to pay for the car. Yeah, it's 15.
11 and 5.
Yeah. But anyway,
I never let him grow up.
I think I
never
believe
does.
him.
Yeah. But other than that, guys, that's me in a nutshell, guys. That's just me. That's me. That's it.
So how is the market?
Let's get down to brass tack.
Like,
wow. Okay.
Now,
well,
okay. I want you to answer that question, but also,
When's the next recession?
Well,
you also don't you teach people about this stuff, right?
I do. We do have a real estate investment
okay.
educational platform, which is called the Cash Flow Club. We have a saying called "I Got That Bag University." So we always say your diploma is your check. So is your diploma. And so each and every time people close a deal or things of that nature or get a distribution check from one of our companies, we say, hey, show your diploma. And they show that check. That's always how to do it.
Okay.
I do teach a little bit on private equity venture capital as well. That's a little bit of a more deep discussion, which is fine. I do have a podcast called the Counter Move Podcast, which airs every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. on all platforms. And then we do a real estate live training on all platforms on Friday at 5 p.m. And so that's probably our most popular podcast. But the Counter Move is coming, which is pretty cool. About to invest into looking at investing in an HBCU college sports game day venture as well also. So I'm going a little bit more into media moving forward. Now to answer the question concerning the market, are we in a recession? Yes, you're already here. The reason why is the definition of recession is 2 consecutive quarters with negative GDP. That's actually happened, like for real. So you know that you're kind of being gaslit or lied to when the powers that be begin changing definitions. That's when you know they selling to you.
Yeah.
So,
You know what I'm saying?
when the powers that be say that the economy is has never been better than it is right now, everybody's doing great. That's completely true, right? Is what you're saying?
No,
No,
Or is it a complete lie?
no,
Is what you're saying?
it's straight up
Okay,
trash,
see-
lie, dog,
See-
the horse manure, all that.
I thought so too, because personally, I'm doing terrible.
For
See,
sure.
I
for
thought,
sure. Hey.
yeah, I was like, who is doing well? I don't know anybody who's like
Your feeling is-
really hanging in there.
it's like
Your feeling is correct. Your feeling is right. Go with the
Okay.
feeling. Go with
Yeah,
the
that's
feeling.
what I
You know?
thought. Then everybody
feeling.
apparently that's smarter than me is saying that it's all good, and I'm like,
yeah.
well, then
and
I'm just an idiot.
Well, I always ask them questions this here. I said, if it's so good, why are you changing definitions?
Right.
If it's so good, shouldn't the definitions just stand up on its own? I give you an
Yeah.
example. Inflation was normally measured every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Notice how beginning of this current administration, they changed it to every year.
Yeah.
Why? So they could then brag and say, look at our policies. It was at 9, now we're at 6. It's going down. And I'm like, bruh, all I know is last year a steak cost $5. Now it costs 9. I'm trying that means it's going up still. I'm confused. But you
Right,
understand?
right.
And if that is the case, you got to understand, why did you guys, when it came to the banking situation, why banks closing? I thought the economy was going well. I always said, look at the fruits. If the fruits are telling you one story, go with the fruits, guys. Go. You have a high inflation is in the double digits. Let's stop the cap.
Yeah.
Let's stop lying to people and tell the truth. But again, this is an election year, so it's called the master of the spin. And
It's
so
very typical. It's very
All the
typical
time.
this time of
All the
year.
time.
The economy's never been better, even though there's
Oh,
people
my God.
dying in the street. There's people dying in the street because they don't have any food, no shelter,
Don't know where to live.
no water. But hey, it's all good.
The best
And
it's
so
ever been.
Yeah.
one of the things that people tell me, and I get a lot of this on the liberal side. They'll say, well, we have a record amount of jobs, and I'll say, huh, really? Number one, what arena are those jobs in? And number two, what normally when there's a job spot, there is a revision. What's been the revisions? Which means jobs been taken away, which means you lied.
Mm-hmm.
They get real exciting then. Now get this.
What they do?
Most of the jobs, guys, came in the government. So we made 2 million jobs in the government.
Right.
I-
And they're really not doing anything anyway, so they really didn't
Hell.
make anything. Yeah.
Come on, number 2.
No.
And 2 million jobs. I said, okay, so if that's the case, if you had 2 million jobs, why do you have a revision of 1 million? That means you lied 50% of the time. So really you had 1 million. Stop the cap. I'm the right one for this discussion. I'm the right one for this discussion.
I love it.
They don't like me coming on, but I'm a
I like it
terms
already.
definitions guy. It's-
He be on it.
They trash.
That's why I want him on here. 'Cause
Garbage.
He'll teach some people.
Yeah.
Garbage.
I do want to, but before we go later on. I mean, we're still going for a little while, but before I do want you to let people know what link they can go to go to
I
your
got you.
class and all
We'll,
that stuff.
Sure.
we'll have everything in the description, all that stuff. So,
Yeah, we do all that,
Yeah.
guys. Sure, no problem.
yeah,
What
that
other
was
questions you got?
that is what's shocking to me. Is it seems like if you have a platform for something, you can sort of
Sure.
just say whatever you want, and as long as it aligns with like the preconceived club that you're in, it doesn't matter if it's actually true or not.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
they just need a way to sort of finagle their own thinking to match whatever this thing that they need to be included in is, which is usually
Yeah.
like leftism.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of other baggage that comes with that too.
Sure.
I don't know if
Sure.
we're gonna go there or not.
Man,
But,
we could.
gotta go too.
we could.
We
Yeah,
could.
Hey, let's see what God does. Let's see what God does.
Hey,
Go ahead.
move Holy Ghost. Move Holy Spirit. Move Holy
This is
Spirit.
how we do. This is how we do. This is how we do.
Let's show.
And so it's nice to sort of have somebody explain what I've been experiencing
Right.
Sure.
without gaslighting me.
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say this
because-
here. I always
Yeah.
say this here is there's billions upon billions of dollars invested in marketing. Marketing is a skill to influence you to make a decision.
Mhm.
That's what it's for. For
Yeah.
instance,
Marketing. Yeah.
the biggest PR agent on the planet is the Fed, the Federal Reserve, right?
Love this.
How is that? Let me kind of unpack that for everybody in the back row.
Uh-huh. Unpack it, brother.
The Fed or the Federal Reserve is raising rates. Why? Inflation. What is inflation? Again, terms and definitions. Inflation is very simple. There's too much currency flowing to too few goods, right? That's all inflation is. So if that's the case, people keep saying, well, we have a roaring economy. And I'm like, I'm confused because there's more money on the sidelines. So what you actually have is the Fed is raising rates to slow down the economy, to slow down the spending, to also to raise the unemployment rate. That's what they're literally trying to do. Literally trying to do. And so when people tell me it's roaring, so I would say, if that's the case, why is the Fed doing anything at all? Why? It's roaring. They should be doing nothing.
Right.
But unless you BSing me. That's what you're doing. When you begin asking questions based on definitions, their whole argument is destroyed. Because then you can't spin me. So when people come out and say, well, the Fed said that they're going to pause the rates, I'm like, I know. Why? They're trying to see what you're going to do. They're trying to influence you. You understand it, don't you? All my business decisions that I actually make, I do the exact opposite of what they do in Washington, and I'm batting 1,000 every time. So these guys. I would say this is one last thing that'll be done. Most government workers, not all, most government workers couldn't make it in the real world, so they went to work for the government. Trash, garbage.
Love it.
I know. Trash, garbage.
Yeah. So what do you think? Should we end the Fed? What should we do?
Well, you can't end the Fed. That's a pipe dream.
Should we do the Ron Paul method?
The Ron Paul method is a pipe dream because here's the uncomfortable reality. The government cannot stop printing. They can't. If they do, the whole thing falls apart. They cannot. For instance, in the last 2 to 3, we're like 36 to 48 months, 40% of our entire currency that this nation has ever printed has happened in the last 36 to 48 months. 40%.
Yeah.
In the entire history of the U.S. That's crazy town. And that does include Donald Trump. So let's keep it 100. Not just the Democrat side.
Oh, yeah.
It's Donald Trump,
They're shaking hands behind closed doors.
For sure.
They're all getting paid. They're all getting...
For sure.
Yeah.
And notice how...
I never care for him.
And notice how all of the congressional... tell me this. Just answer this question real fast. And this is all organic. Every House member of the U.S. and the Senate of the U.S., they're making $180,000. That's their salary, right? Tell me how what did they invest in to be worth $200-300 million?
Nobody knows.
Oh, I know. I know.
I know. Tell me what it was. What is it?
Very simple. They will not pass a law excluding them or banning them from making active stock trading. So what happens is they actually have their wealth managers, right? And they make investments for them. It just so happens that these senators and congressmen are passing laws for said arenas or industries. It so happens that their shares are in the arenas that the money is flowing through that they approve these bills on. That's how they grow their wealth. It's called legalized insider trading. It's simple. Now, if you and I did it, we'd go to jail. We'd go to jail. Go to jail.
There's a Twitter account that made a bot that matches Nancy Pelosi's trades and automatically does them for yours.
Yep.
And apparently, since they started, they're up like 80% or something. As soon as she makes a trade, the bot just does the same thing for you, whatever you have set up for it.
That's good. Now, didn't Martha go to jail for some trading? So she did what they did, but went to jail.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And that is the reason why. Like, for instance, I believe that Nancy Pelosi is worth $200 million.
Yep.
How?
$200 million.
Yep. Doing what?
You make 6 figures a year. So what service or product did you create and
Right.
sell to the masses to generate that income. The issue, they can't.
You can actually take it
none.
on a larger scale, or as if you look at like a map of
Yeah.
areas by wealth, one of the
Sure.
biggest ones is right outside Washington, D.C. And now the
Yeah.
question is, what does Washington, D.C. produce?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can explain Silicon Valley and why they're as rich as they are, because it's just a bunch of tech companies producing things constantly, updates and all this stuff. Washington, D.C., is there rich agriculture there?
Oh,
No. Is there tech companies there making things? Nope.
Yeah.
So how are these people getting their money? And the answer, as you said, is very, very simple.
Not hard.
Because these people are crooks.
Yes.
And be honest with you,
No,
I gotta respect the hustle though.
I mean, they got
I
in
gotta
there.
respect the. I mean, I thought of this hustle. That hustle's so good.
Listen, Joe Biden's been in there for 1/3 of American history, has had Joe Biden in office.
Get this: the president of the United States, has never created not one job, not one. But he's making decisions for the free world. How does that make sense? That's like Jarvis, in all due respect, my cousin, running Coca-Cola. And he's never ran a company at all. But they say, oh, he's going to be the CEO. That makes no sense.
Yeah. Now he's just out here changing flavors. Nobody knows.
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
he's
All due
bringing that
respect.
cold Coke, nobody wants it. Nobody,
Let's try that again. Let's do that
Every
again.
decision he makes actually is what people don't want.
They were like, wait a minute. We don't like a tar flavor.
no,
But
no,
it's
I don't know.
great.
You never know. You never
But
know
you
unless
never know. I'm like, what the
you
hell?
never know unless you try.
Yes.
Yeah.
How is Nancy Pelosi?
War?
Come
I don't
on, come on.
understand. You guys don't
How
want
is-
war, but I have tanks to sell.
Come
You
on,
don't
man.
want war,
Come on,
I
man.
want war.
Let's stop the cap. How is a congressman, Nancy Pelosi, Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, both on both sides.
All of
How are
them.
they outperforming Warren Buffett?
He said, "Don't worry, I'll wait."
Maybe it's because Warren eats too much McDonald's. I think that's what it is. Yeah, he's not
The
quite
richest
as
man in the
quick on
world.
yeah, he's not as quick in the draw as Nancy
see.
Pelosi. You know,
You see.
The
If there's
third
one thing
richest
you
man
can
in the
say
world.
about- If there's one thing
Really?
you can say about Nancy Pelosi, it's how sharp she is, how quick on the trigger she is
See?
for financial trades.
Uh-huh.
She's very good.
You see?
I don't know how she has times.
Yeah.
How she has time to do any of this.
And you'll know,
busy
and,
she is.
and you'll know what congressman or congresswoman or senator is really behind or what they're pushing. For instance, I call him Lindsey Scam. His real name is Lindsey Graham. And he's a war hawk. So
Oh, yeah.
loves war. He'll never go fight himself, but he loves war. Why? Because
But
of the
won't go
fact that
fight
his stocks are in most of all things war. He make a ton of money, killing the game.
Oh yeah,
Killing
Lockheed
the
Martin.
Raytheon.
Oh yeah.
L3
Not to mention
Harris,
the money they
killing
just give them behind closed doors. I mean, not
Killing
even to like get it. Just give me the envelope. That's it.
killing the game.
Like it don't even got to be in the stock. They're just handing out envelopes now.
Give this.
Give it to me. Let me.
Just
Yeah.
killing the game. I'm like, this is. I mean, I gotta respect. The hustle is real. I'm like, man, I wish I thought about that hustle.
Yeah.
Damn.
Just robbing
Can I get
everybody.
in?
How do they figure out how to rob everybody?
But see, that ain't the hustle that we're about, because they thieves, man. We ain't thieves.
They are thieves. But
They
hey,
are thieves.
That's why we didn't think of it, because we ain't thieves.
Here's the
But
thing. I've known a couple people who broke into a car, steal a change jar. These
For sure.
people have figured out how to rob everybody. Everybody getting robbed.
Everybody, yeah.
Nobody's
Man.
doing nothing.
it is something, man. It's just. That's why I tell everybody, you have to turn your side hustle into an enterprise. The solopreneur is dead because your competition is the gorillas. Give you an example. I'm a real estate development and finance, so I invest a lot of new construction stuff. Guess who's also in that space? Blackstone is. Blackstone
BlackRock,
parent,
Vanguard, State
Yes.
Street,
then
of them.
all of that. Now, Blackstone's parent company is BlackRock, right? So they're buying out whole subdivisions. That's what they're doing. What they're doing.
Yep.
And so I saw that happening 2 or 3 years ago. So I said, okay, wait a minute. My competition is now not the person on the corner, not my fellow solo investor. It's the big boys. So now the game is how to become too big to fail. That's the game plan now. So for me, while I'm in the media space, while I'm in the real estate space, while I'm in the private equity space, the goal is to get too big to fail. So that you gotta play games. You have to play. The government has to play with me. Now, why? I'm too big.
Yeah.
I'm too big. That's the game plan now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to mention if you're a smaller developer or anything at this point, it's only a matter of time until you're going to get bought out by one of the biggest corporations in the world. I mean, you look at like I remember when the Oculus Quest first came out, which is like a VR headset. This was before any of this took off, before the big AI boom, any of that happened, and it was sort of garbage. And then they did like a version 2, version 3, and everybody loved it. And as soon as everybody loved it, Facebook jumped on it.
Yeah.
So now Facebook owns this thing too.
Yeah.
And so it just seems like anytime there is this successful startup, it's just a ploy to sell the company to a bigger investor anyways.
That's called an exit. Some people want to exit. Like, for instance, you'll never see Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, exit the Cowboys. He bought them for $180 million. Now they're worth, I think they're worth, what, $9 billion? That's a crazy return.
Because they're America's team. I keep trying to tell y'all that.
That's a crazy return. Now,
don't know why
most investors do want to get an exit. I don't, unless it makes some sense. For instance, we just rolled out in one of our companies the first AI-powered vending machine where you can buy ammo at your grocery store. AI-powered.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are cool with this AI stuff? Because
it depends.
The thing, it's not about being cool. It just is what it is. It's here now.
Listen,
and we got to deal with it.
Okay, but hold on. For everything,
there's nothing anybody can do.
Not for everything. It depends on the purpose. For me, whenever you actually we had 4 of the biggest rural owned grocery stores reach out to us. I said, hey, we queried our consumers, and they drive 300 to 400 miles to Cabela's or Dick's Sporting Goods to get their ammo. We asked them, would you guys be okay with buying ammo while you're buying your groceries? They said, heck yeah. So they reached out to us, and I said, well, guys, you have that data. Why don't you invest in it? They said, because we're in the grocery store business. We're not in the ammo business. So I got my squad together. I said, well, guys, here's a big deal. And I called 2 guys that I really trust that know that space very well. I said, LaDale, this is a $2 billion industry. You better invest in this. So I invested the seed capital into it with a partner of mine, and we began to work it, and we're beginning to explode now.
How does the actual the machine work?
Well, what happens is you will go up to the machine. It's touchscreen. You touch it. There's a video playing, which is fine. You touch it, and then it says, "Hey Jarvis, are you 21 years or older?" You click yes, and it gives you a little disclaimer. You scroll down and you press continue. Then what you do is you actually select the ammo you want to buy. It asks you again, "Hey Jarvis, are you 21 years or older?" You select yes. Then it says look up. You look up. There's a camera there. It tells you to smile. You smile. It takes a picture of your face. Then it says put your driver's license in there. What it does is
I was going to ask. Okay.
It scans your driver's license to confirm that the person that took a picture is the same person that's on the driver's license. That's all it is for. It's the same technology that the TSA uses at the airport. And then once it confirms that, you pay for it, and it comes out. It takes about 30 seconds. Pretty sick.
My thing is, I feel like it's only a matter of time until that's just everything. You go to a store, and everything is sort of backstock now. There's no like actual aisles you walk down. You just select what you want, and then there's a bunch of things that gather it up, and then your cart comes to you. You might not even have to leave your car anymore. You can just have this self-driving cart come out, deliver your stuff, leave, go away. You don't need to have a giant store with aisles and make it look nice because there's going to be people walking around. You can just have a warehouse, essentially.
Yeah, but the thing about it is I look at AI like this when it's used the correct way. I heard this online. AI has given humans the ability to be humans for the first time.
Yeah.
What we've been able to do is we used to have, and I'm gonna use making cars as an example. If you go to a Ford factory, you'll normally see people in a line putting the car together. Now they have a lot of machines doing that, AI powered.
Yes.
So it allows for the human to be more creative. What else can we do? What else can we do? It frees up the human to be more creative, more innovative. Now that doesn't mean
jobs.
now, well, yes and no. Right. Those that say that, well, that's my job. I want to retire there. I would say, guys, that was great back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. You're in the information age now. Things move very quickly right now. You have to reinvent yourself, right, to catch up with technology. So that's why I'm not opposed to AI in the right context, because it forces people to be more creative. Who's to say? For instance, using Jarvis as an example, my cousin Jarvis, great singer, but let's say, for instance, he was working for a said company for a long period of time, and they moved over to technology wise. Now he has to reinvent himself now. Okay, but it forced him to be what he's good at, creative. What else can I do, guys? What else can I do to where I can code, start my own business, be able to build an enterprise, so to speak. Maybe I have some capital sitting there that I can become an investor or a lender, so to speak. You get to provide more services to the world to actually solve more problems. That's where humans are the best at being creative. If that makes some sense.
Oh, yeah. I think most of what I am familiar with AI for is in creative endeavors.
Sure.
I don't know how to graphic design, but I have DALL-E 2 on my phone, so I can just type in what my mind sees, and then AI just does it for me. So now, essentially, all it's doing is taking labor away. It's not taking away my ability to conceptualize that.
Sure.
It's taking away the need for me to learn a program and then learn how to draw this program.
Sure.
It removes just work and labor, and I can just have my creative idea made manifest essentially instantly.
Sure.
And it's the same thing with writing. It's the same thing. Even now, at the end of the podcast, I had an AI write a song about this podcast. So at the end of the episode, it's just an AI song that plays. And the thing is, like, I could do that myself, but you're talking about 40 hours in a studio.
There's no feelings. There's no feelings. AI has no feelings. It's a computer. It's no feelings. It's not the same thing. Not a songwriter. Go ahead. I'm done.
He ain't lying.
No feelings. No emotion.
He's not lying.
Doesn't mean anything.
No,
he's not lying. But also,
it's the same thing. It's not the same thing.
He's correct.
I'm sorry.
It's not the same thing. But it can do it, and I like what it made. And to me, that's really it. I don't really care about if it had emotions or not. I like how it sounded, and it was for the podcast.
That's fine.
It wasn't like I'm putting this album out to connect with people. It's just a thing to...
Yeah, no, I get that part.
And then the other thing is that...
I get that part. I'm just saying.
New technologies always take jobs.
It does.
That's sort of the nature of it.
Yes.
There's going to be something that becomes obsolete because of a new technology.
That's correct.
We don't use tape recorders when we record music anymore. We use audio interfaces. We don't use scribes to write things out when the printing press was invented.
Correct.
That's just the natural progression of things. The problem, I think, and I don't think it's going to happen very quickly, but we're already seeing people in creative fields lose their jobs to an AI that can just graphic design for them.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's already happening. It's going to take a while for it to be on a large scale like that. But if you're looking at a giant corporation that, hey, we can save money by firing all 40 of these people and just pay this company, OpenAI, however much money to have a proprietary AI that does these people jobs for them, and it saves us buku bucks every year. I just don't see why the corporation wouldn't do that when their whole MO sort of is to just steal from their employees anyways.
Well, I tell everybody, if you are depending on someone else to provide for you, you've already lost.
Yeah.
You need to have a side hustle because you never know when that season of employment may change. Put it like this.
Mm-hmm.
When man wanted to make a desk, God gave him a tree. Why didn't God give him a desk? It forced him to be creative, right? And if you look at, I had to go biblical, but I'm going to go biblical here. Genesis chapter,
Please.
I believe it's chapter 1, it says, there was no shrub growing in the garden because the Lord God did not allow for rain to come down because there was no man there to manage it well.
Yeah.
So there was no growth because there was not a good manager there. So God himself withheld rain because there was not a good manager there. God is a God of management. We own nothing. He owns everything. And he says, now, Andrew, Jarvis, LaDale, manage it well. And those that mismanage it, you will lose it every single time.
Well, there's also, what was it? Jesus talking about, it's not casting lots. It was, they were talking about people's pay, I think. And Jesus pretty much said, like, if you can't be expected to handle little, how can you be expected to handle much?
Exactly.
And that's sort of, it's the same thing. If you're stagnant where you are and you can't handle what you've already been given, well then why are you expecting for God to trust you with more?
See, come on now, preach now. Okay, don't give me.
He started.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
It's. I tell you about God won't give you too much that you cannot bear, but that does not mean He's not going to stretch you.
Oh yeah.
So people that are I don't want to lose my job, things of that nature, and they're kind of in a stressful situation where you can lose your job. My question to you is, who is the provider, Jehovah Jireh or you?
Right.
Because if you are the provider, you probably suck at it. Because of the fact that you own nothing. You don't have the capacity to be the provider yourself. There's a glory that comes with that. Glory is heavy. It's heavy. And only the one that's originate what glory is, God himself, can actually hold the weight of glory. Man was never meant to hold on or to carry glory because by its design, it's heavy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Cannot.
Absolutely.
So it's just, man, reinvent yourself.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And see, and that's what we're doing. Like we got our podcast.
Yeah. I like the
doing
podcast.
things. Yeah.
I like it,
I
man.
love it.
I watch
just
it.
us
I watch you guys.
Man.
I watch. To me, that's the best podcast. Is you just being yourself. The scripted ones and this and that. Now you can edit it out, which is fun. That's getting wonderful. But those raw ones, we like that. We want to see.
Yeah.
We like that. Yeah.
Well, that's what I told him.
We don't have no script. We just come in and whatever we feel like, we just start talking.
Yeah, I told him from the beginning, like, this thing is just going to be whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's going to be episodes that are sad. There's going to be episodes that we're just sort of annoyed at something happened.
Sure.
We're going to be very happy. We're going to be excited.
Yeah.
And it's all going to be different, but it all just is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And the whole point is just letting people to see whatever this is.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know the story of how we come with this name. We would go to trivia, right?
Okay.
A group of us guys from church would go to trivia every week, and he is so damn ignorant. But he ignorant. So so he would do stuff. I'm like, what is wrong with you? So one of our church brothers, Keaton, was like, y'all should do a podcast called "What Is Wrong with You?" Because every time he would do something, I was just like, Drewski, what is
wrong with you? Yeah,
so,
I like
so
that.
It became the thing,
Yeah.
and it that's our thing. Because every time he do something, like I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Understand?
I like the title.
Yeah.
I told him this is all it has to be, and the only requirement is that we have to keep doing it.
Yes.
That's the only requirement. We don't have to worry about how good one episode was or how bad one episode was. The only requirement is to put it out.
Yeah.
That's it.
And just keep on going and keep on going. Yeah.
Going back to what we were talking about, with you not being able to manage much, so God doesn't give you much.
Sure.
There's also a thing where humans are just very short-sighted. Whatever's happening to us now is going to be how it is in the future. So if something bad happens to me now, I lose my job.
Sure.
Well, then now I'm like, how is anything ever going to work out for me again?
See, I don't think like that, though.
Because like everything's ruined.
Yeah.
Because we're just so short-sighted. We can't
We
think
are.
about what does God have for me that is actually better than what I had. Because he's not
Sure.
going to give you something that's worse.
Yeah.
And that takes me back to like the story of Joseph. He gets sold into slavery by his brothers.
Yeah.
He goes through to Egypt. He ends up like working his way up, and then years later, there's a famine. His family comes to Egypt,
Yeah.
and he's in a position now where he can feed his family. And so it was the selling into slavery, which was a terrible thing,
Yes.
that actually worked out for the good of everybody involved.
Yeah.
And God says, what you intended for evil, I intended for good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very, very true.
And so it's like you can't just look at what is happening to you now as good or bad as much as whatever happens in the end will work out for my good.
Yes.
Why? Because God said so.
Right. Exactly. And even if you don't understand why he's doing it,
Yeah.
you just go with it. I mean,
Yeah.
you just gotta just.
One thing that happened, and Jarvis knows this, 3.5 years ago, I was probably the toughest year for me and my family. Because we lost our son. I had to give birth to a stillborn son. Now, God had given me a desire for a son. We actually live streamed the gender reveal of the son on Facebook when that actually happened. So I was very happy because I had 2 girls. I've been praying for a son. So God gave me a son. So we were happy. Well, I get a phone call at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday because my wife was in the hospital because she was on bed rest. That's normal for pregnancy. And when I get there, she calls me and said, "You need to come now." I said, "What's the problem?" She's like, "I'm bleeding. You need to come now." She's crying. And I said, "Okay, I'm on my way." I got the kids up, took them over to their aunt's house, and I told my aunt, "I'll call you, let you know what's going on." She said, "No problem. Take your time." Now, my 15-year-old at the time, she was 12-year-old. She knew what was going on. Isabella, my young one, she was asleep. She didn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But
That's my baby.
I'm driving to the hospital, and I am praying to the Lord, saying, "Father, do it again. Raise him from the dead." I knew he was dead. I said, "But Father, if you do not, prepare me for what my heart is about to go through." I run into the hospital, and when I run into the hospital, I lock eyes with the OBGYN, and she said, "Mr. Buggs?" I said, "Yes." I said, "He's gone," and she said, "Yes, he is." I said, "We can't go back in." She said, "No, we cannot. The placenta separated itself from her wall, and so the body made a decision to save the mother versus the child. That's how God designed it." And I said, "Huh." So now I have not seen my wife yet. This is new news. I'm shocked. So I walk around and I walk into the room right around the corner, and I lock eyes with her, and she just loses it. And I just said, "Oh my God, what did I just walk into?" And so now I'm kind of numb at like what's going on. My mom and dad were on their way up there, and then my best friend Jason Hannah was on his way up there, and I had to go break the news to everybody, and so I had to go out into the waiting room, tell my mom, my dad. My mom collapsed. I haven't mourned yet, so now I got to console her about the son I just lost. And so I said, "Okay." My dad gave me a hug, but my best friend Jason Hannah asked me. He came up to me and gave me the biggest hug, and he was sitting there with his Bible open, and he said, "Dale, what can I pray for you about?" And I said, "Man, that I don't lean to my own understanding, because if I do, I will go crazy, because I'm a ponderer." And so, and that's what the first time I actually exhaled, and that's when I began to cry more. And so I wasn't done. I had to let everybody at our local church know what was going on. Our community group know what's going on. They all came together. They all came down there. We saw the hands and feet of Christ right there. And so now, now I go back in the room, and the doctor says, "We're not done." I'm like, "What do you mean? We have to deliver this baby." And I'm like, "Say what?"
Yeah.
So we had to go in and deliver my son out of my wife's belly. And so go through the whole process. And when you hear the words time of birth and then X and time of death, X in the same breath, it is chilling to hear. And I'm holding my son in my hands, deceased. And my wife's crying, we're crying, and we get back into the labor and delivery room. And now I have my girls there. Gabriella, my oldest, she's crying. Isabella, she didn't know what's going on. She's trying to process it as well. And so my wife had to go through it physically as well. So that's another burden on top of that. We began humming the hymn Hallelujah. We began singing it out loud. And the doctor was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "The only thing I know how to do right now is just worship. That's it." And she began to cry. So we in that boy worshiping while holding my son. And because at the time, I just hardly knew what to do. But man, God had some powerful conversations.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure.
One of the conversations we had. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I already know. One of the conversations.
I know.
I know you know. One of the conversations actually I had in the car. I was driving in the car and I'm bawling like a little boy. And the Lord says to me, "Son, tell me how you feel about me." And I said, "Father, I want to spit in your face. I want to cuss you out. I want to flick you off because I can't blame my wife, myself, my kids, the doctor. This is on you." He died on Sunday. We were going to deliver him on Monday. So I said, "Father, you couldn't wait 24 hours? You had the ability to stop it, but you couldn't wait. You couldn't stop it?" And he said, "Son," he said, "Can I give you a different perspective?" I said, "Sure, Father." He said, "You think it made me feel good to see my son getting beat for nothing? An innocent man." He said, "But this is when it really got me is when my son asked me, why have I turned my back on him, knowing the answer, and I still had to do it because he had your sin on him." And I said, "Father, thank you for valuing me enough to give me that perspective." I said, but Lord, your son got up. And in 3 days, I sent him to your right hand. And right now, he's in your right hand right now. The son who you gave me the desire to actually have, I won't see him into glory. You took up your life and be taken away. And even you control when I see him because it's glory. He said, "Son, you are correct." And the discussion was over. That was a Job moment. It was, I am God. You are not. Be okay with that. And so I've grown to understand to be okay with the unknown because he is a master. One of his names is master. And the master understands when a student needs to know something and when he does not need to know something. And so he's withholding this from me, knowing why that actually happened, because I'm not ready for that reality yet. So I do Philippians, I believe it's 4:3 or 3:11, when it says that I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his suffering. Suffering is part of fellowship with him because the one thing that we get to share with God is adoration, praise, worship. Yes. We get to share that with him. And there's an exchange there. He gets to feel what we're feeling. But there's one thing that he wants to share with us, which is what? His suffering. He wants us to feel what he feels. It's an intimacy, an exchange. We want to share with him the praise and worship, but we want to share with him in that suffering. That's called not having a relationship. I have to be okay with that because at times, guys, what happens is those emotions come out of nowhere. And have to be still.
And it's going to be forever.
Forever.
It's going to be forever.
Forever.
Yeah, I know. but
I remember when Josh went to what he went to, and you guys probably know what that is. I was there when he found out. And I just said, "Oh my God."
Yeah,
I
I was
just-
screaming.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bad.
I've never seen Jarvis that way. But I said, Lord, all I know I do, Lord, is just to hold him. I just held him.
Mhm.
Didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
Didn't say
Yeah, that's all
nothing.
you could do.
All I could do. To this day, I still know exactly what he said when he found out. I know exactly what he said. And that was tough to go through. But it was good for him. Strangely, it was good for him. It was good for him.
Pain usually is.
Yeah. It makes you stronger.
Yeah, well,
it does.
long suffering.
Yes.
Uh,
And it brought me closer to God too. Like it's weird. Like I remember saying, "I'm mad at you. I don't understand, but I cannot turn my back on you. But you're the only one that's going to help me through this.
Yeah.
And you have to help me
where could I go?
because no one else could help me. You know what I mean? So yeah, it brought me. Like I didn't. I was mad, but I just leaned harder because I knew if you didn't help me, I was going to lose it.
Yeah.
I lost it a little bit, but I could have really lost it. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't lean harder, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it brought us closer. Now this time I know he's real, and I still have my days. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody does. That's the thing. Everybody's got something wrong with them.
I'm saying,
All the time.
Everybody.
Yes, sir.
And the people I don't trust are the ones who act like there ain't nothing wrong with them.
There you go. Every time.
Yeah. Because boy, is there some darkness. I can see it. If you gotta hide it, then I don't want nothing
If
to do with
everything
it.
is perfect, and
No.
see, I tell people, if everything was meant to be perfect, then what would be the point of the Lord? Like, what would you have to praise about? Like, what would you like?
I tell everybody.
What would be the point?
I tell everybody,
You know?
and when it comes to marriage, I say, marriage is two people that suck coming together, learning how to suck less
Figure
together.
it out. Yeah.
We suck.
Yeah.
He's married. He's
Yeah.
married.
Yeah.
I'm married
got
16
three
years.
of them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. 16 years. Me
Yeah.
too.
So, I mean, even being a parent is like that.
Yeah.
Because these kids just don't know nothing. I mean, you got to show them everything. They
Everything.
don't know nothing. Everything you got to show them.
Yeah.
Even and you got to show it to them 112 times.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Every
I mean, it
single
is
time.
crazy. Every
But
single time.
and I'm like for real, like we just not gonna like. I one of my pet peeves. I can't stand when my kids will be in the kitchen. Will get out a can of soda, drink half of it, and leave it out and just forget about it. Get up in the morning, still sitting there, and I purposely wait for days just to see how long it's gonna take.
I'm gonna keep it. Hey.
I was like, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, and then you ask them, who put this here? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, so it just walked itself up there. It just hit itself up there.
It's just I always say Casper. Let's go Casper. Casper is in this. It's all Casper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched my daughter today go to the fridge. She grabbed a mozzarella
Bad boy.
stick out of the fridge,
See.
unwrapped it, put it in her mouth, carried the wrapper. Mind you, the trash can is in the kitchen where the mozzarella stick was. She takes the wrapper with her out of the kitchen
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then sets it on the mantle above the fireplace.
Yes.
And I'm like, now, I don't know if you know this. Maybe I should draw a map or something.
Come on.
There's a fridge right here.
Right there.
If you look about 3 feet to your left,
Uh-huh.
there's a trash can.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
so the
sir.
mantle is like 45 feet to the north.
Come on.
I don't know why you're going there.
That right there go preach.
That's
That,
not
that,
where you should be.
that right there in a preach. Now, how old are your kids? How old are your kids?
I got a 5-year-old, 4-year-old, 18-month-old.
It gets worse.
You got baby.
It gets worse.
Oh, I bet it does.
It gets worse. I got a
Yeah.
15-year-old. We went up into her room, and I said, "Baby, you're not going anywhere until you clean up this room." Like so every Saturday is cleanup day for her. The first time we began that whole exercise, y'all, I went under her bed. What she was doing, she would clean up and put stuff under the bed. Sorry in this world. It's trash.
Yep.
Just trash.
Just
sorry.
sorry.
Sorry. And so I said, "Oh man, this looks good." I said, "Let me check out what spot under the bed: chip bags, soda cans, water bottles.
bottles.
I mean, you have
That's me, huh?
man. You have old Ziploc bags with chips in it, and I'm like, for real? She's like, what? Like under your bed is not a trash can. I know. I just know that's not a trash can. So why use it as a trash can?
It might look like one right now,
but it's not.
but contrary to popular belief,
Trash. Garbage. Garbage.
yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-mm.
So I want you to give our people the links to go to.
Yeah, give us your plugs, where everything's at.
On social media, guys, just put in my first and last name, LaDale Buggs, LAD as in dog, ALE, B as in boy, UGGS, on all platforms. Is my first and last name. Then if you want to watch, if you want to go to real estate training, I believe it's called, I think it's called the cashflowclub.biz, and I'll send it to you. That'll be down in the link, guys, which will be fine.
We'll have it all.
And then also you can go to TIT and Wealth when it comes to wealth management. People understand that is people ask me, if you will lose all of your capital, all of your money, what industry would you actually begin in? And I said, probably the life insurance industry. The reason why is because that industry has created more millionaires than any industry on the planet.
Because people die all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would actually be in it. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I don't invest in life insurance stuff for the death benefit. Now, the death benefit is great, but I use it as an investment tool. I float money to and out of it. I pay zero in taxes by utilizing that tool when it comes to real estate investing and private equity and financing. My money makes 7 to 10% compound interest every year. I lose no money. I have a floor. I lose no money at all. My principal is always protected there from litigation, taxes, as well as inflation. So I'm utilizing the same strategy that the banks use. If the banks use it and it works for them, why don't you use it?
Yeah, right.
So,
I'm from recalling you, so I can start using it because you got me messed up. I gotta get a bank.
yeah.
I gotta credit you, man.
Yeah.
Occasional man.
I
Yeah.
gotta credit you.
Yeah.
Get ready. I want to so you know. I want you to get ready. I got a new song coming out soon.
Okay.
I don't know if you listen to the other two. I have out.
I did.
You ain't listened to them, have you?
I did.
Have you?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, you ain't said nothing.
Hey,
You ain't said nothing.
see, something about Carl being.
If you didn't like it, you should have said that. If it could have done better, you could have said that.
Hey, Jarvis.
But if it was good, you could have said that. You ain't said nothing.
Hey, Jarvis.
So I didn't know that you heard them because you ain't said nothing. But it's all good.
Hey,
Listen.
Hey, Jarvis. Can I ask you
Being very calm
a
now.
question real quickly? Are you married?
What they got to do with anything?
See, it's really weird. I feel like I've gone down this rabbit hole with him too.
Married?
I was.
Yeah.
Okay, you was.
I was.
Okay, praise the Lord. But you're not now currently, right?
What they got to do with what I just asked you? What they got to do with anything I just said?
I'm going somewhere.
What they got to do with anything I just said?
I'm going somewhere. Hold on, I got you, baby.
No,
Yeah, you just gotta let him.
Oh, okay.
Let me
Yeah.
cook. Let me
Because
cook. See,
let him cook.
I'm the only.
Don't even let them cook.
'Cause I know it's coming.
Yes,
and
you
I'm
do.
giving you the same business.
And
I'm
you
giving
know,
you the same
come on,
business.
preach that gospel.
Yeah.
Now I have 3.
Can I get an amen?
Amen, somebody. Oh, hey, hallelujah. Oh, so I have 3 females in my house and 2 female dogs. I'm the only testosterone in my crib. So everybody and their mama wants my attention. My wife, number 1, my kids, number 2, and these damn dogs, number 3. You know what I'm talking about? The only time I have some time,
We know about the song, man.
well, because of the fact that when they want your attention, they tend to bring other stuff in that I have to look at. My wife, her love language is physical touch and quality time. So I got to make sure I give her time. Gabriella is my wife on steroids. Got to give her time. Okay,
That's my baby. Oh,
you know
that's my baby.
Isabella wants that physical time as far as doing sports as well.
my
So
baby.
she's finna do tennis as well. I gotta walk these damn dogs, and just so happened now Gab Elephant began driving. So now I pay for a car and I got to pay for a damn gas because she ain't got no job.
Okay, how long is that? She's not driving yet. She's only 12.
No, she's 15. Okay,
She can't drive.
Let's get it right. She's
At 12.
She have a permit.
And then she's not 16.
She'll have a permit at 15, and then Texas getting 15. She'll have a permit in February. She's going to be driving in February. So it's
I think it's too soon.
Hey,
I think it's too soon.
Hey, all I know is
I ain't the parent, whatever.
All I know is if I don't get to you, it's not because I ain't trying to. It's because I have other responsibilities.
I'm not tripping on that. All I'm saying is, if it don't take 2 seconds to say, "Hey, I heard a song, liked it. Heard the song, it sucked." Something.
Okay, now, Andrew, watch this. Jarvis, have you watched any of my podcasts?
Yes, I did. That's how I know about it. That's why I asked you to come on the damn thing. I told you about the damn when that woman was on there,
Yes,
and y'all was
Lord.
talking about that.
Hallelujah.
You gonna make me cuss.
Praise
Jesus.
the Lord. Okay.
After we was preaching.
Hey, but Jarvis, have you commented at all on the professionalism, the presentation on any of my podcasts?
No, I haven't.
Hey,
But it only takes 2 seconds.
Hey, I wish we had a Kurt Franklin song we could play right now. Come on, he's able. He's able. He's able. He's able. Look at God.
Okay.
That's God.
Right.
Look at God. Hallelujah.
Right.
Yeah.
Praise His name. Ain't God good?
All right. Well, I'm gonna pick my face up.
All things done in darkness will be brought to the light.
Come on.
All things.
That is scripture. It sure will.
Get behind me.
Over there being trifling, Job. Hey, watch out now. For sure.
Fair enough.
For sure.
At least I can own it. I'm man enough to own it.
And I can own it too. I could have
Okay.
responded, so please forgive me as well.
I could have said something too.
See,
sorry.
Look at the
We
Lord.
just do it and go on.
Look at
We
the
just go
Lord.
on.
Smooth
We
on
talk
through
about it and
things.
move forward. We don't
So,
hold
but
on to
Jarvis,
nothing.
But Jarvis, I gotta ask this
Right to
question.
the-
I gotta ask this question to
the
you.
Lord.
What is wrong with you?
You know I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant. Our whole life. You know I'm ignorant.
Oh my Lord, it's all good. This is a
You
fun
know I'm
show.
ignorant.
I know you are.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you
Okay.
for coming on.
It has been an
For
absolute
sure.
blast. This time flew. I mean,
It
really
did,
flew.
didn't it? It did, didn't it? It's
Yeah.
been how long
So
it's been?
that's usually how I know it's a good one. It's an hour. We're at an hour right now.
Oh wow! Look at this, y'all.
Yeah.
Look at the Lord.
That's how I tell which ones are good and which ones are bad, because the bad ones seem like they take forever.
But this is gonna be.
But this is a good one.
He was like, "Where's it gonna be done? My God, this is ridiculous."
We're talking about the fed
Yeah, we
again.
got
Jeez.
Well, we gotta go. Is that my wife? My wife is called.
Yeah.
no.
I think I hear the kids coming upstairs. They're going.
Right, well, let's see you guys know.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming on.
Thank y'all for the
I
invitation.
appreciate it very much.
Anytime, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Y'all have a good day now.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Yes, sir. You too.
Love you too now.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
You better say it. You know I'm gonna come get you if you didn't. All right,
And
all
y'all,
right.
he will.
Talk to you soon.
All right, guys.
Don't play.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you for listening to another episode of
What is wrong with you?
See you
For real.
guys.
All right, y'all.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you?
What is Andrew and J Var coming in hot? You know we got the single best part on the block. Andrew has some problems and J Var does too. So they always asking, what is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?